Here, in the bustling ecosystem of a city cafe, we observe a fascinating yet common human ritual. A young woman, let us call her Eleanor, sits alone. She is by any objective measure a remarkable specimen. Her features are pleasant, her attire is chosen with care, and she carries an air of quiet intelligence. Yet she remains unseen. Men walk past her table, their gazes sliding over her as if she were part of the furniture. She sips her coffee, her eyes darting towards the door, a flicker of hope followed by a wave of resignation. It is a subtle drama, one played out millions of times a day across the globe. What is this invisible force field that seems to repel the very connection she seeks? It is a mystery that lies not in her appearance, but deep within her own perception of self. The scene is almost painful to watch. A man enters, his eyes scanning the room. For a brief moment his gaze meets hers, an opportunity presents itself, but Eleanor's reaction is instantaneous and telling. She looks away, her posture shrinking almost imperceptibly. She fiddles with her phone, creating a digital wall around her. The man, reading these signals, moves on. He interprets her behavior not as shyness, but as disinterest. The moment is lost. The potential for connection evaporates into the ambient noise of the cafe. She is left alone once more with the quiet, gnawing question, "What is wrong with me?" This is the silent struggle for so many, a battle fought not with others, but with the ghost of inadequacy that haunts their own mind. Across the room, another scene unfolds. Here sits another woman, Chloe. She is not perhaps as conventionally striking as Eleanor, but she radiates a different kind of energy. It is a quiet confidence, an aura of being comfortable in her own skin. She reads her book, but her posture is open, relaxed. When a waiter stumbles nearby, she's the first to offer a reassuring smile. She engages him in a brief, light-hearted exchange. It is nothing of consequence, yet it is everything. She is present in her environment, a participant rather than a mere observer. Her energy is an invitation, a signal to the world that she is open to connection, secure in her own value, independent of external validation. The difference between Eleanor and Chloe is not one of beauty or wit or worth. It is a difference of internal narrative. Eleanor's world is colored by a deep-seated feeling of inferiority, a belief that she is somehow not enough. This belief, though invisible, projects outwards, shaping her every micro-expression and action. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. She expects rejection, and so she behaves in a way that inadvertently invites it. Chloe, on the other hand, operates from a place of quiet self-acceptance. She is not seeking validation from the outside world because she has already found it within. Her confidence is not loud or arrogant, it is a gentle, steady hum that others find irresistibly calming and attractive. The feeling of inferiority is a deeply rooted phenomenon, often planted in the fertile soil of our earliest years. It is a seed sown by a critical parent, a dismissive teacher, or the relentless comparison to a seemingly more successful sibling. These early experiences shape the lens through which we view ourselves. A child who is constantly told they are not clever enough, or pretty enough, or good enough, begins to internalize this narrative. It becomes their truth. This internal voice of criticism becomes a constant companion, whispering doubts and pointing out flaws long after the original source of the criticism has gone. It is a shadow that follows them into adulthood, casting a long, dark pall over their self-esteem and their interactions with the world. This shadow dictates behavior in the complex dance of human courtship. For a woman haunted by inferiority, every social interaction is a test. It is a test she feels she is destined to fail. She might enter a room full of people and immediately begin to compare herself to every other woman present. She sees their beauty, their wit, their ease, and in her mind, her own qualities diminish in comparison. This constant, draining calculus of self-worth leaves little energy for genuine connection. She is so preoccupied with her perceived shortcomings that she cannot be present in the moment. Her conversations may feel stilted, her laughter forced, because she is performing a role rather than simply being who she is. The modern world, with its curated social media feeds, often acts as a powerful amplifier for these feelings. Here, life is presented not as it is, but as an endless highlights reel. Every post showcases a perfect holiday, a perfect relationship, a perfect body. For someone already struggling with their self-worth, this digital landscape can be a brutal and unforgiving terrain. It reinforces the narrative that everyone else is living a happier, more successful life. The gap between their own reality and this fabricated perfection widens, and the feeling of being less than becomes more entrenched. It creates an impossible standard, a race with no finish line, further eroding the fragile foundations of their self-esteem. Crucially, this feeling of inferiority is a distortion of reality. It is a funhouse mirror that reflects back a grotesque and untrue version of the self. The woman who believes she is uninteresting may in fact possess a wealth of fascinating hobbies and a unique perspective on the world. The woman who feels unattractive may have a captivating smile and eyes that sparkle with kindness, but she cannot see these things. Her internal critic filters out all the positive evidence and magnifies every perceived flaw. The tragedy is that the world often takes its cues from us. If we project an image of low value, others, including potential partners, are inclined to believe it. The first and most important sale we must ever make is the one to ourselves. When faced with the persistent gnawing pain of inadequacy, the human psyche develops remarkable defense mechanisms. It crafts masks to hide the perceived vulnerability from the world. Two of the most common masks are those of overcompensation and excessive humility. The first, overcompensation, often manifests as pride or aggression. This is the woman who enters a room with a defiant air. She might be overly loud, unnecessarily argumentative, or quick to dismiss the opinions of others. Her behavior screams, "I am important, I am confident," but it is a brittle performance. It is a shield, designed to preemptively strike at a world she expects to judge and reject her. She builds walls, not of quiet insecurity, but of loud, intimidating brick. This aggressive posture is, paradoxically, a sign of profound weakness. True confidence has no need to announce itself. It is quiet, assured, and calm. The woman who overcompensates is in a constant battle, not with others, but with her own inner demons. She seeks to control every conversation, to win every argument, because losing feels like a confirmation of her deepest fear, that she is worthless. A potential partner, observing this, does not see a strong, confident woman. Instead, he sees someone who is defensive, difficult, and emotionally exhausting. The very armor she wears to protect herself becomes the cage that isolates her, repelling the genuine connection she secretly craves. It is a tragic miscalculation in the delicate art of human interaction. At the opposite end of the spectrum lies the mask of excessive humility. This is Eleanor from the cafe. This is the woman who effaces herself, who apologizes for her own existence. She deflects compliments, downplays her achievements, and consistently places the needs and opinions of others above her own. She believes that by making herself small, she will be safe. If she expects nothing, she cannot be disappointed. If she claims no value, she cannot be devalued. This behavior is often mistaken for kindness or modesty, but its roots are in the same soil of inferiority. It is a strategy of disappearing, of hoping to fly under the radar of potential criticism and rejection. This strategy is just as counterproductive as its aggressive counterpart. A man is not attracted to a woman who appears to have no opinion, no desires, and no sense of her own worth. While kindness is a valued trait, self-negation is not. A relationship is a partnership between two whole individuals, not a dynamic between a savior and a victim. A woman who constantly seeks reassurance and validation places an immense burden on her partner. He is forced into the role of constantly building her up, a task that is ultimately impossible, as the problem is internal. True attraction blossoms when two self-possessed individuals choose to share their lives, not when one seeks to complete themselves through the other. It is a common misconception that men are simple creatures, drawn only to the most superficial aspects of a woman's appearance. While physical attraction certainly plays its part in the initial stages of courtship, it is far from the whole story. What truly captivates and holds a man's interest over the long term is something far more profound: a woman's relationship with herself. A man, like any human being, is drawn to positive energy. He observes not just the shape of a woman's face or the curve of her body, but the light in her eyes, the ease of her smile, and the way she carries herself through the world. He is, often without realizing it, subconsciously reading 1,000 tiny signals that communicate her inner state. A woman who is comfortable in her own skin radiates a quiet, powerful magnetism. Her confidence is not about arrogance or being the loudest person in the room. It's a calm self-assurance that communicates she knows her own value, independent of his or anyone else's approval. This is, quite frankly, incredibly attractive. It tells a man that she is not looking for someone to fix her or complete her. She is a whole person, looking for another whole person to share a journey with. This relieves an immense amount of pressure. He can relax and be himself, knowing that her happiness does not rest solely on his shoulders. He is free to be a partner, not a therapist or a constant source of validation. On the other hand, insecurity is palpable. It manifests in behaviors that, while intended to seek reassurance, often have the opposite effect. Constant questioning. Do you think I look okay? Are you sure you're not bored? Is she prettier than me? Can become, well, rather draining. It reveals a deep well of neediness that no partner can ever truly fill. Men, just like women, have their own insecurities and anxieties. They are not looking to take on someone else's. They are drawn to a woman who can be a source of strength, a calm port in the storm of life, not another storm to be navigated. A woman who is secure in herself becomes a partner in the truest sense of the word. Before we continue, if you're finding this exploration of human nature insightful, please consider taking a moment to like this content, subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of relationships, and share it with someone who might benefit from this perspective. Your support allows us to create more content like this. Now, it's crucial to understand that a man of quality is not looking for a doormat or a follower. He is looking for an equal. He wants a woman with her own opinions, her own passions, and her own life. A woman who can challenge him, engage him in spirited debate, and bring her own unique world to the relationship. This is only possible when a woman's sense of self is strong and independent. Building self-esteem is not an overnight process. It's a craft, a daily practice of forging a new relationship with oneself. The first, most crucial step is to become the gatekeeper of your own mind. You must learn to identify and challenge the voice of the inner critic. When that familiar whisper of "you're not good enough" begins, stop, acknowledge the thought, but then question its validity. Ask yourself, is this thought actually true? What evidence do I have to the contrary? Begin to consciously replace the negative self-talk with a more balanced, compassionate inner voice. Speak to yourself as you would speak to a dear friend who is struggling. This act of internal kindness is the very foundation upon which self-worth is built. The next step is to cultivate competence. Confidence is often a byproduct of capability. Choose an area of your life, any area, and commit to improving in it. This could be a physical pursuit, like learning to dance, taking up a martial art, or joining a running club. It could be an intellectual one, such as learning a new language, taking an online course, or mastering a complex recipe. As you see yourself progress, as you overcome challenges and acquire new skills, you provide your mind with concrete, undeniable evidence of your ability to learn and grow. This sense of accomplishment will begin to spill over into other areas of your life, gradually silencing the inner critic with proof of your own competence and resilience. It is also vital to curate your environment, both online and offline. Unfollow social media accounts that consistently make you feel inadequate. Mute the endless stream of curated perfection and instead follow accounts that inspire you, teach you, or make you laugh. In your real life, take stock of your relationships. Spend more time with people who lift you up, who celebrate your successes, and who treat you with respect. Gradually, distance yourself from those who are consistently critical, negative, or draining. Your social environment is the soil in which your self-esteem grows. Ensure that it is fertile, nurturing, and free of toxins. This is not selfish. It is an essential act of self-preservation. Finally, practice the art of embodiment. So much of insecurity lives in the mind, a disembodied voice of anxiety. Reconnect with your physical self. Pay attention to your posture. Stand up straight, pull your shoulders back, and lift your chin. This simple physical adjustment can have a profound impact on your mental state. It signals to your own brain and to the world a sense of confidence and presence. Practice making eye contact. Hold it for a second longer than is comfortable. Smile at strangers. These small physical acts of courage, practiced daily, begin to rewire your neural pathways. They teach you on a cellular level that you are safe, that you are capable, and that you belong in the world. When a woman begins the journey of building her self-worth, a remarkable transformation occurs. It's like a stone dropped into a still pond. The ripples extend outwards, touching every aspect of her life, most notably the dynamics of attraction. The first and most immediate change is in her own energy. As she stops seeking validation from external sources, a new lightness and ease settles upon her. She is no longer walking into social situations with a desperate, unspoken plea to be liked. Instead, she enters with a quiet curiosity. interested in connecting with others but not dependent on their approval for her own sense of well-being. This shift from needing to wanting is incredibly powerful and fundamentally alters how she is perceived. This newfound self-possession changes her behavior in subtle but significant ways. She begins to express her opinions more freely, not aggressively, but with a calm assurance. She talks about her passions and interests with genuine enthusiasm because her joy in them is not a performance for others, but a real part of who she is. She learns to set boundaries, to say no graciously when something does not serve her, which communicates that her time and energy are valuable. These are not calculated tactics to attract a man. They are the natural expressions of a woman who respects herself. A man of substance observes this and sees not a target to be won, but a partner to be earned. Her focus also shifts. A woman plagued by inferiority is often fixated on being chosen. Her entire focus is on what the man thinks of her. But a woman with a strong sense of self-worth is also choosing. She is observing him, evaluating whether he is a good fit for her life, her values, and her future. This flips the entire dynamic of power. She is no longer a passive applicant in the dating game, but an active, discerning participant. This confidence is immensely attractive because it signals that she has standards. Men are by nature driven by challenge. The challenge of earning the respect and affection of a high-value, self-respecting woman is far more compelling than the easy acquisition of someone who offers no resistance. Ultimately, the ripple effect creates a powerful filtering mechanism. A woman's demeanor, whether it projects insecurity or self-worth, attracts a corresponding type of man. Neediness and a lack of boundaries can attract predatory or controlling individuals who see vulnerability as an opportunity to exert power. On the other hand, a woman who radiates self-respect, independence, and quiet confidence will naturally repel those individuals. At the same time, she will become a beacon for men who are themselves secure, respectful, and looking for a true partnership with an equal. In this way, building her own self-worth is the single most effective strategy for attracting the right kind of man into her life. In the grand tapestry of human relationships, the threads of authentic connection are woven not from superficial qualities, but from the profound substance of character. The quest to attract a partner is not, at its heart, about mastering a set of techniques or projecting a flawless image. It is about becoming the kind of person with whom a deep, lasting bond is possible. Inferiority, with its attendant masks of pride and timidity, is a barrier to this. It keeps us trapped in our own heads, performing for an imagined audience, unable to be truly present with another human being. The journey out of this state is the journey towards authenticity, and it is here that true attraction lies. An authentic woman is not a perfect woman. She has flaws, she has fears, she has moments of doubt. The difference is that she has made peace with them. She accepts her imperfections as part of her unique human story. This self-acceptance is what allows her to be vulnerable in a healthy way. She can share her fears without being defined by them. She can admit a mistake without it shattering her sense of self. This is the kind of vulnerability that builds intimacy. It is an invitation to another person to be real as well, creating a safe space where two people can connect human to human without pretense or performance. This is the bedrock of a relationship that can withstand the tests of time. The journey to building self-worth is therefore not undertaken for the primary purpose of attracting a man. That is simply a welcome consequence. The primary purpose is to build a more fulfilling and joyful life for oneself. It is about learning to enjoy your own company, to pursue your own passions, to build a life rich with meaning and purpose, independent of a partner. A woman who has built such a life becomes a source of light. She is not a half looking for another half to complete her. She is a whole, radiant sun, and a man is naturally drawn to orbit in her warmth. The irony is that the moment a woman no longer a man to feel complete is often the exact moment the right one appears. So, is inferiority the reason women struggle to attract men? It is, without a doubt, one of the most significant and often overlooked factors. It is the invisible architecture that shapes our behavior and dictates our results. But it is not a life sentence. It is a narrative that can be rewritten by cultivating self-awareness, by challenging the inner critic, by building competence, and by practicing courage. Any woman can transform her relationship with herself, and in doing so, she transforms her capacity for connection. If this journey has resonated with you, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Join our community as we continue to explore the fascinating complexities of the human heart. True attraction is not about becoming someone else. It is about having the courage to finally become yourself.